deal with my taxes for me today.
So far, we did the cider thing.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to Happy Hour. It's Friday for Cider Week Hudson Valley. Cheers, everyone, for Happy Hour.
Cheers.
Cheers, you guys. Very excited to have Ryan Burt from Angry Orchard and Matt Froman from Spirits Lab here today. I am drinking the Spirits Lab Rosé Lemonade, and it is absolutely phenomenal, incredibly refreshing, especially on a day like today. So you guys tell me about this drink and what's in it and the combination that how it came about.
Well, it came together. We're coming into summer. We wanted something refreshing and well balanced. Yet we didn't want to lose the delicate kind of flavor profiles that a lot of Ryan's ciders and Angry Orchard ciders have. So that was kind of the challenge, was because these ciders are so beautiful and balanced and complex. That was the challenge, and I kind of came through, I guess. I
think so. Yeah.
Would you say that if Ryan wasn't standing right there, Matt?
I would, absolutely. Absolutely.
You would, and you do.
Yeah, I mean, what's been fun about this cocktail and some other cocktails we worked on is, you know, this, I was going to say the spirit, which I'm just going to go with it. The spirit of true collaboration, in that we just kind of met, and I'd heard what Spirits Lab was up to. I swung by to buy some stuff. I live in Beacon, they're in Newburgh. So I came across the bridge and picked up some spirits. I was super psyched about them. I followed up immediately, was like, wow, this is really cool. Can we connect? We did. Tasted each other's work and got together, sat down, and kind of tasted through a bunch of opportunities with our mutual drinks. And so it was pretty cool to get to actually work on these cocktails together and taste through them. That's certainly led by the team at the Spirits Lab from a cocktail ideation perspective. And I appreciate that, because that's their specialty. And not only are the drinks that we did together really cool and interesting, but everything they've got going on the weekends right now is super cool. So
it's amazing. Yeah, so Matt, I want to definitely hear more about Spirits Lab, but you know, when you were thinking about creating a cocktail, like what's that process like? What's an equation or a formula that you think of, especially when you think of a cider, like, you know, dry versus sweet, or, you know? Yeah,
that's a really good question. And I think, I mean, I'm a former school teacher, so
good for you. Thank you.
being around food and beverage for a long time as kind of a side thing, to us, it's all about balance, right? And that's kind of how we approach our cocktails. And when we like to do kind of little twists on kind of classics. So if you look at something that you're drinking as, you know, a cider kind of lemonade, the tricky part is all about the balance and using fresh ingredients and trying to use ingredients that will accentuate the other ingredients. They work together, they play together. So when he handed us the Frankenstein cider, I was blown away. So, you know, you have this beautiful dry farm style cider that has a second fermentation over Cab Franc.
Yeah, primary fermentation.
Primary fermentation.
Yeah, on Cab Franc, yeah.
Over Cab Franc, great. And it comes through, and it's beautiful. So we didn't want to lose that. And what would brighten that? Citrus. And that's where we went kind of like, okay, let's go into a refreshing, almost summer lemonade style cocktail that is still diverse. So
yeah,
you still get that cider, you still get some of the Cab Franc, always fresh lemon juice, and that's always the challenge.
It's incredibly fresh. I mean, it does taste like literally you just mixed it, and it's in a really awesome little to-go container, beautifully packaged. But it's like it's really fresh. It's amazing.
Yeah, And that's what we were trying to achieve. So not just, and it's a lot of tasting. It's a lot of going back and forth and saying, okay, maybe a tenth of a part. You know, we work in parts and tasting through a lot. It's really painful having to taste through, you know, and develop cocktails. So that's our goal, is to have it well balanced. And, you know, it also has room to add things to it. So if you wanted to add a little bit of your favorite liqueur on top of that, it could take that. So
nice.
Having I see you got a lemon garnish on there. A little bit of that oil from the lemon garnish comes off into the drink. So that's kind of how we go about it.
Nice. So I'm sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, for me, it's another blending exercise, which I say that with excitement and interest. You know, our exercise here in this cellar is always about blending, and you know, we're working with different parts that are just different fermentations of apples. And what I really find exciting and fun about cocktails is that's the same exercise with a whole new range of ingredients, and it's the maker that has, you know, fingerprints all over it. And I really enjoy that about it. There's something really personal about blending, and there's a lot of humanity in that. And I find that's what draws me to all of this, is to get to sit down with somebody and think about what they do and what I do, and how they do their thing with blending and how we do our thing with blending, and how can we bring that all together. It makes it really natural to kind of be able to collaborate with anybody and anyone in our field, and probably beyond. Probably there's tons of ways to collaborate with people that we haven't even thought of. That's what makes this stuff infinitely exciting to me and keeps me going and wanting to participate in our industry, in our collective industry.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, we talk so much about, you know, getting the word out about cider and evangelizing more and more about how amazing and dynamic and special it is. And I think when you put it into this context, it just sort of opens up that whole world as well, to see how beautifully it pairs with this, you know, vodka and this flavor. It's just amazing. It's really nice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So Ryan, you mentioned, I'm sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Oh, it's just to piggyback on what Ryan was saying, the art of blending really keeps us up at night. And like, what could we do? You know, what could we do? You know, all these new ingredients. And when you get into the world of gin, you know, what botanicals can you use? You know, maybe we can take one of Angry Orchard's barrels and do something with it here and with this. So it's infinite, and it is a blessing, but it's also kind of like,
it's a curse.
It's a curse.
Right.
All these ideas, but you get these wonderful collaborations that come out as a result. Absolutely.
So Ryan, you had mentioned you were there at Angry Orchard. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there, and you know, are you guys?
No. This is my private cellar underneath my we are in the cellar at Angry Orchard. What's going on here? We're pretty quiet, as most places are. We are in construction. So actually it's been pretty loud, but everyone's gone home for the weekend now. Our cellar is pretty quiet. We are starting to finally package cider that we put in these tanks back before everything got locked down. And we are starting to open on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, for reservation only outdoor drinking, and hanging out.
Great. I'm glad to hear it. Such a beautiful space. I'm glad people can start to enjoy it again to some degree. This
space, there's so many hidden gems that I didn't know about, and there is so much happening at Angry Orchards that I just wasn't aware of. And for a cider maker, it's just unbelievable. And in this industry, there's so much happening up here. It's an incredible spot.
Yeah, it's very special.
Yeah, I think
I'm excited.
I mean, it's exciting that Orange County is a place where things just keep popping up that are fantastic. And the latest for me is Spirits Lab. So I'm and for me, any reason to go to Newburgh and hang out is a good thing. So I'm happy to get to swing over and grab a cocktail and hang out at their tasting room as well.
Yes, absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. And I'll mention real quickly, if you're watching and you have questions for Ryan or Matt and you want to shoot them on the chat feature, please do, because we can answer them right here live. So Ryan, that was Matt, a fantastic segue from Ryan. Can you tell us a little bit about Spirits Lab and sort of the ideation?
Yeah, so we came together in 2018. There's three of us, three partners. We bring probably about 40 years of experience coming into this from different parts. And we decided to open up Spirits Lab because artistically, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to do it ourselves. And we opened up just around Christmas for a few days. And then we officially opened just before this whole thing happened, which I won't mention, but we all know about it. And we quickly pivoted, and we have our base spirits, which is our New York bourbon, which is a wheated bourbon, our New York rye, our gin, which I never thought I would produce or distill gin, but it is a fascinating process, and I'm in love with it. We have our vodka. And we decided to get into these ready-to-drink cocktails. Mm-hmm. And it was really the crisis that we're in that people wanted something bright and happy and easy to drink. And if you didn't have to go out to a store and get it. And that's what we started producing. And it took off. And we have now roughly anywhere from 6 to 8 ready-to-drink cocktails, including our collaborations that are going to be coming out with Angry Orchard. And it's been a 0 to 60 experience, and we're having a fantastic time. And you really feel kind of like an artist getting to do your own thing, and the collaborations doing this is just a dream of all of ours. And it's been very positive despite the current crisis that we're in.
Well, and I was going to say, I imagine, what's been so intriguing to me about this situation is that, I always try to think of like challenges creating opportunities, right? And so I imagine you probably have aspects of your business that maybe weren't a priority, when you first started the model, and now you have the model built because you've been able to function during this time period. That could be another layer. I don't know, like, I would imagine there's things you put in place that you weren't even thinking about or prioritizing, or.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a whiskey guy. That's what I do, and I wouldn't have thought in 3 or 4 months that my partners and us, these ready to drink cocktails, and, our gin is coming out, our vodka, all have been very, very, kind of unexpected how it all came out, but it's now branded us who we are. And we have this great space right off of Liberty Street and Ann Street in Newburgh. It's an old Sears Roebuck garage, and it's a beautiful courtyard, and it just serves its purpose for us. And it's been great. The community has been fantastic, and I can't say enough about Newburgh.
I was going to say, I love that you're there. There's so much cool stuff happening in that area. It's phenomenal. Yeah, exciting.
So it's very interesting to see where our products were 3 months ago and what we thought it was going to be, and now. And we love the road that we're on. Yeah.
What is the biggest difference, would you say? Is it the to-go cocktails, or is there some other aspect that's turned out to be?
I think so. I didn't think I'd be doing, we have our cocktails that we love. Like I love doing twists on classic cocktails. We have one of our most popular cocktails, a blood orange old fashioned, and just doing little twists of adding Amaro and a little bit of maple syrup versus, other classic ingredients, and just putting little twists on it. We knew we were going to do that, but we just didn't realize we were going to be doing all of these other cocktails, and the response that we've gotten from it. And it's all about balance and a lot of tasting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Ryan, for you during this time period, has anything emerged as like a surprise or anything that you weren't expecting to discover that you've uncovered?
He's gonna get a mountain bike.
We're actually thinking about getting bikes too, as a matter of fact. I hear they're all sold out in this area.
Yeah, that's probably better for me. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell what's going to happen for us from a cider making perspective, and honestly from our tasting room perspective too. We're in construction, but we're almost done. And normally we'd be celebrating opening that up and having probably thousands of people coming here on the weekends. Hard to imagine that. So we're all trying to figure out how we're going to react to that. We don't have those answers. From a cider making perspective, we would normally be gearing up to receive tons of guests. And so we're trying to figure out what is our, we're getting ready for cider season, which happens with COVID or not. The apples are growing and the orchard is going to be heavy this year. Most of the orchard will be pretty heavy. It's a good year for apples. And we're trying, I would say a struggle is, what are we going to do with all of this fruit and cider when we have all the cider that we were expecting to sell right now?
Right.
That's a challenge. I guess I'll go back to an earlier topic, which is blending and what that means. For us, a lot of blending is holding things back for long periods of time, extended aging. And so my guess is once we get to when the fruit's coming off the tree and we're starting to press apples into juice and make cider, we're going to be storing a lot of what we make, long-term extended aging. So I think a lot of actually the challenges and what we'll discover won't really happen right now. It'll happen next year. We've taken a lot of fruit off the farm. We fermented it. We've tucked it away probably more than we normally would, because we aren't going to be moving a ton of cider through the tasting room. So a year from now, we'll be tasting cider, that would have gone somewhere else, but instead will be kind of in reserve, if you will. And you know what? Honestly, an aged cider through our program is usually a pretty beautiful thing. So I'll look forward to tasting those ciders and telling you about them next year.
That's great. That's really great. And what other, besides the rosé lemonade, are there other collaborations between you two right now, or are those still to come?
We have a couple of other collaborations that are coming out, and one so when you start thinking about cocktails, we were lucky enough so these Basque Spanish style dry ciders, it was actually one of the first things I was able to taste when I came in here.
Out of that tank.
I was out of that tank.
Nice. Nice.
And was
that tank right there.
That one right there. And was blown away by it. Basque style ciders are complex. They're not just this one-dimensional dry, and it's a real art form in producing it. And so we kind of, cider cocktails, it took a little time, and our partners, we all kind of got together and we're like, well, what do you have on a hot day, in the mountainous regions of Basque Spain? Well, I'm either gonna have cider. I might have a drink called Pacharon.
Yeah.
Or why not make a sangria? So we decided to go down the sangria route, and I wasn't sure what you were gonna. Wasn't sure, and we went into a so what grows in an orchard, peach trees, apricots, all those seed fruits kind of, and apples seem to grow together. So we added some peach, some apricot, our vodka. I like a little bit more of a boozier sangria as opposed to a very sweet one. Again, it's all about balance.
Right.
And a little bit of lemon juice, and it turned out to be,
it's awesome.
It was amazing. And you still get that dry kind of farm style cider coming through. It really comes through. It's very good.
Kind of like a funky sangria.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Little like wild fermentation funk on it, which is, and like extended barrel aging funk. The cider that we use is Super Natty on that one.
That's one we use.
So Supernatural, which is, pet nat, it's sparkling, it's kind of funky, a little bit weird, and we like it that way. And so
that was very similar to the Spanish dry style. Yeah.
That's great. And that's available now?
That will be available probably.
Taylor, when will that be available?
In less than 2 weeks.
In less than 2 weeks, after the 4th.
Nice. I look forward to that. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's cool. We're excited about it.
Well, then he throws us his wooden sleeper. So we got to leave here. With a whole bunch of experimental, our first visit here.
That one.
This is a barrel aged. Well, why don't you?
Yeah, bourbon barrel aged cider. It spends at least a year in old bourbon barrels that are between 9 and 12 years old. Everything comes from Buffalo Trace. It's a cider we've been making since before we even opened the place. When we knew we were opening this place, I started laying this cider down so that we would have something to open the doors with in the fall of 2015.
Wow.
And that was the shortest aged. That would have been 10 months. Now it's the minimum age statement's a year, and maximum age statement is 3 years. So every time we do it, we blend a new batch. There's a lot of similarities, of course, but there's also differences. So each time we do a packaging run, it's a little bit different than the time before, but it's always around 10% alcohol. It's always really bourbon forward. It's always dry and sparkling. And now we have them in these cute little 187 cans. So you can, it's kind of like a cocktail in a can,
that's where it led to us. So when I sampled this, when you get into these fun, it always brings up to me, pumpkin spice beer time around harvest time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when that all first came out, it was like, am I having a drink or a slice of pumpkin pie? So wines went into, these bourbon barrel aged wines were big a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it was, am I drinking wine or am I drinking wine with bourbon in it? Which is not that bad.
Yeah.
So it was all about balance. And again, when we had this, you get cider, you get a little bit of bourbon, you get a little bit of oak, but it's well balanced. It's not a punch of tannin. It's not a punch of one or the other. It's just extremely well balanced. So when we had this, I'm like, okay, well, bourbon.
Yeah.
Bourbon cocktail. Well, let's do an old fashioned cocktail with this. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And still having, we had a couple little secret ingredients, which I can't divulge, but enough so that it's well balanced. You're getting cider. You're having cider. You're having an old fashioned, and it's just a really nice cocktail. So those are the three kind of cocktails that we kind of came up with collaboratively.
Yeah.
Excellent. And which one is that's going to be available in 2 weeks?
This will be an old fashioned, an apple, a cider old fashioned, so to speak, and that will be available
around the same time.
Around the same time.
Yeah.
We're looking at the person behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I look forward to that for sure.
Yeah.
So, and these are the three cocktails that are kind of coming out. And then, we come here and Ryan hands me this cider, and I'm like, so every time we come here, we try something new. Well, what are we going to do with this?
Yeah. And what is that you're drinking now?
This is phenomenal.
This is called Nothing But Agree Thing. It is a cider that we did in collaboration with Berry Family Cellars up in the Finger Lakes, which is one of our favorite vintners. Ian Berry is an awesome dude. He has a killer tasting room. And if you're lucky, and they're open, they're playing his deep cuts on vinyl, or they're, a really cool acoustic band playing up there. It's just an awesome place to hang out. And then his wine on top of that is fun, exciting. He's doing a lot of natural wines, a lot of pet nat stuff, kind of not necessarily trending with what's happening in the Finger Lakes at large. So he kind of sticks out, and I found him that way. We became friends, and similarly, I went up there and just started tasting his wine. I brought him a bunch of cider. We tasted through a bunch of cider. We actually did the Frankenstein that's in the lemonade is also a collaboration with Ian Berry. So this is our other one yet to be packaged. And what we did with this is age it on Pinot Gris skins.
Wow.
From the Finger Lakes. And so it's sort of like a la orange wine. This is still in a tank back there, so we haven't packaged it yet. But when we do, it'll be called Nothing But Agree Thing.
Nice.
We have a propensity to listen to a lot of hip hop in this cellar, especially on Mondays and Tuesdays when we're closed to the public. And so we come up with lots of hip hop inspired names for ciders.
I like it.
Of course, this is an homage to Nothing But a G Thing.
That's awesome. And when do you think that'll be available?
As soon as we get the doors open here, it'll be available. Yeah.
Nice.
I think we're just going to keg it this year. I don't think we're going to bottle it. So it'll be on draft, hopefully this summer. It's done. I mean, we're drinking a finished cider. It's coming out of the tank, ready to be kegged. So could be that we keg it next week, and then as soon as we've got the doors open, we'll be pouring it.
Excellent.
It's a seafood lover.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cider.
It's killer.
It is a perfect merriment between a classic kind of white wine that you'd have with seafood, and cider.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's a fun one.
Yeah,
we're excited about it. All the stuff, all the like co-fermentation wine stuff we've been working on is just really coming out well. This is year two and three of some of these ideas. This year 2 for this one. Last year, actually, we still have it, I think, floating around somewhere in barrels, but we didn't really like it, and it's just sort of trial and error. And this year, it's moving to packaging. We're excited about it.
Excellent. I'm excited about it too. It sounds delicious. Can't wait to try it. Excellent. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been really, really awesome. Beyond the collaborations you have coming out, is there anything that you haven't done yet that you think you want to try to do?
I want to start playing with some barrels. Yeah, I really want to. Barrels are not a container; they are flavor bombs, and if it's done right, I think it would be fun to really do a double, triple barrel, some kind of. I'm not sure how it would be.
Yeah.
Either with our bourbon, rye, and some ciders, and we did I played around with some ice ciders and aging some bourbon with ice ciders, and with some pretty good success. But I would love to get down that line.
Yeah, I think we'll probably, we were talking about the Wooden Sleeper. The barrels are coming from Kentucky, and that's amazing. And they're probably, from a volume perspective, this is one of our most popular ciders here. That's one route, right? I think what's exciting is to work locally, collaborate locally on as obviously locally with humans, and then locally with as many local things as we can get into that collaboration. Can we, work with the guys up at Quercus and get did I say that right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. They're building barrels north of here. Could we get one of their barrels? Can we then make their, can we make their bourbon in that barrel and get that barrel and add cider in it from our orchard here, and like almost everything's, more or less everything is coming from the Hudson Valley, and can we show some like interesting new expression that way? My guess is that's probably where we're gonna start thinking.
Excellent. I have to say, if I had to choose, one of the most consistent flavors that I most enjoy or appreciate, it's that barrel, oaky like flavor when it's done right, when it's done well. Like to get that right. What it is. It's a beautiful thing.
It's all about balance. It's got to be done right. It can quickly overpower or underpower.
And cider, it can especially overpower. It's definitely a finesse thing when it comes to cider making. That's one of the, I think it's actually can be one of the things that can sort of separate some challenges. Not that it can't overpower or underpower in what you do, but I think it often skews to overpowering in cider because cider is so delicate. And whereas a long-term aging in a bourbon barrel up to 10, 15 years for you can be amazing, for us is likely to be vinegar.
Right.
And so there's a different, that's the beauty of the collaboration, where it's like identifying challenges that we each face that are very different and trying to mitigate those through, collaborating.
Yeah. Excellent. I love the collaboration. You're knocking it out of the park with this rosé lemonade. Mine's empty. I'm gonna have to get another one. And I'm excited to see these new collaborations coming out. That sounds really, really awesome. So before we go, I want you guys to share one more time. Ryan, when can people start visiting you all again out in Walden at Angry Orchard?
Saturday and Sunday, starting tomorrow.
Great.
Wait, Taylor, come here. Taylor, come here.
The person behind the curtain.
This is Taylor, everybody.
Hi.
There we are. Hey, Taylor. How you doing?
Hi. The orchard right now is open Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for cider to go and outdoor seating.
Excellent.
Just head right to our website and you can reserve your cider, any of our specialty cans, bottles, and frozen rosé.
Woo!
Rosé. Thank you, Taylor.
That sounds delicious. Thanks, Taylor.
That was so much better for me.
It's good to have a spokesperson. That's a good thing.
I can bring my Taylor. I can bring Lynn in.
Yeah, and so Ryan, how about you guys? You're up and running now, and you've got people coming to visit, right?
Oh, me? Oh,
I'm sorry, Matt. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, we are open Monday through Friday, 12 to 3, Saturdays, 12 to 5. That has been kind of the COVID kind of hours for us, but we're going to be adjusting hours now that phases have changed. We'll probably be open later on Fridays to accommodate, obviously that kind of 5 o'clock hour, and a little bit later on Saturdays. And we may look at Sundays. So it's all still new to us, but we're open for curbside. Easy to find us. We're on Ann Street and Liberty, and you can't miss the garage doors to the old Sears Roebuck service garage.
Sears place. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I look forward to, I know I swung by earlier, but I'm looking forward to really spending some time there and hanging out and getting back out to Walden as well to hang out at Angry Orchard. Thank you both so much for joining us today. This has been awesome. And thanks for being a part of Cider Week Hudson Valley. Really, really special to have you both here.
Thanks for having us.
It's absolutely our pleasure. Absolutely our pleasure. And so for everybody who's watching, you can go, there's much more to come this weekend. You can go to ciderweekhv.com for all of the events that are coming up. We even have one of our highlight events this weekend is Ryan and Gabe Cook, the ciderologist from the UK, having a chat on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be, hoping that one goes off the rails a little bit.
A guy with a degree in cider.
He's got a cool hat.
Well, you should see this guy's mustache.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. All right, excellent. Well, thank you both so much, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peace.
Cheers.